We now start chapter 6. The title of this chapter is Series Expansion. In this chapter, there are 4 modules. Module 1 is Sequence and Series. Module 2 is Sequence of Functions. Module 3 is Power Series. And Module 4 is Laurent Theorem. We now discuss Module 1. The title is Sequence and Series. The sequence Zn of complex numbers is formed by assigning to each positive integer n a complex number Zn. Zn is called the nth term of the sequence. In this module, we discuss about the convergence of a sequence whose terms are complex number. We also discuss the nature of infinite series whose terms are complex number. After that, we discuss about the convergence of sequence and infinite series whose terms are complex valued functions defined in some domain in the complex plane. We show that if a sequence Zn is convergent, then its limit is unique. We also prove that a sequence Zn converges to Z0 if and only if every subsequence also converges to Z0. We also discuss absolute convergence and conditionally convergence of an infinite series. We discuss about Cauchy condition for convergence of sequence and series. We also discuss some methods by which we can verify whether an infinite series is convergent or divergent. We now go to our presentation. So, we start module 1, sequence and series. A sequence Zn is said to converge to Z0 as n tending to infinity if for given epsilon positive there exists a positive integer n such that modulus Zn minus Z0 is less than epsilon whenever n greater or equal to capital N. Symbolically we write limit n tending to infinity Zn equal to Z0. If the sequence Zn converges to Z0 as n tending to infinity, then the sequence mod Zn also converges to mod Z0 as n tending to infinity, and the sequence Zn is bounded. Now we prove a result. Let Zn equal to xn plus iyn and Z0 equal to x0 plus iy0. Then limit n tending to infinity Zn equal to Z0 if and only if limit n tending to infinity xn equal to x0 and limit n tending to infinity yn equal to y0. So, proof, let limit n tending to infinity Zn equal to Z0. Then for given epsilon positive there exists a positive integer n such that modulus Zn minus Z0 is less than epsilon whenever n greater or equal to capital N. That is modulus xn minus x0 plus I into yn minus y0 is less than epsilon whenever n greater or equal to capital N. This shows that modulus xn minus x0 is less than epsilon and modulus yn minus y0 less than epsilon whenever n greater or equal to capital N. So, next we assume that limit n tending to infinity xn equal to x0 and limit n tending to infinity yn equal to y0. Then for given epsilon positive, there exist positive integers n1 and n2 such that xn minus x0 is less than epsilon by 2 whenever n greater equal to n1, and modulus yn minus y0 is less than epsilon by 2 whenever n greater equal to n2. Now choosing n equal to maximum n1 n2, we see that modulus zn minus z0 is less or equal to modulus xn minus x0 plus modulus yn minus y0, that is less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2 equal to epsilon whenever n greater equal to capital N. This implies that limit n tending to infinity zn is equal to z0. This proves the theorem. Now we prove another result. The limit of a convergent sequence is unique. So proof, if possible, we assume that the limit is not unique. Let z and z dashed be two distinct limits of a convergent sequence Zn. Then for given epsilon positive, there exist positive integers n1 and n2 such that modulus zn minus z is less than epsilon by 2 whenever n greater equal to n1, and modulus zn minus z dashed is less than epsilon by 2 whenever n greater equal to n2. Now choosing n as maximum of n1 and n2, we see that modulus z minus z dashed is less or equal to modulus z minus zn plus modulus zn minus z dashed, which is less than epsilon whenever n greater equal to capital N. Since epsilon greater than 0 is arbitrary, we obtain z equal to z dashed, and this proves the result. So another result, let limit n tending to infinity zn equal to z0, limit n tending to infinity wn equal to w0, and c is a non-zero complex constant. Then number 1, limit n tending to infinity zn plus wn is equal to z0 plus w0. Number 2, limit n tending to infinity c into zn is equal to c into z0. Number 3, limit n tending to infinity zn into wn is equal to z0 into w0. And number 4, limit n tending to infinity zn by wn is equal to z0 by w0, provided w0 not equal to 0. So now we give a definition. Given a sequence Zn, consider a sequence nk of positive integers such that n1 is less than n2 is less than n3 and dot dot dot. Then sequence Znk is called a subsequence of the sequence Zn. Now we prove a result. A sequence Zn of complex numbers converges to Z0 if and only if every subsequence of it converges to Z0. So we give proof of this result. We first assume that limit n tending to infinity Zn equal to Z0. Then for given epsilon positive, there exists a positive integer n1 such that modulus Zn minus Z0 is less than epsilon whenever n greater equal to n1. We consider any subsequence Znk. Since sequence nk is an increasing sequence of positive integers, there is an integer n2 such that nk greater equal to n1 for k greater equal to n2. Therefore, modulus Znk minus Z0 is less than epsilon whenever k greater equal to n2. This shows that limit n tending to infinity Znk equal to Z0. the converse part of this theorem is trivially true as sequence Zn itself is a subsequence of it. This proves the theorem. So, now we state Cauchy condition for sequences. A sequence Zn of complex numbers is said to satisfy the Cauchy condition if for given epsilon positive there exists a positive integer n such that modulus Zm minus Zn is less than epsilon whenever n greater equal to n and m greater equal to n. Or we can say that modulus Zn plus p minus Zn is less than epsilon whenever n greater equal to capital N and p equal to 1, 2, etc. Usually the sequences which satisfy the Cauchy condition are called Cauchy sequences. Now we prove a result. A sequence Zn of complex number converges if and only if it satisfies the Cauchy condition. So, proof: we first assume that limit n tending to infinity Zn equal to Z0. Then for given epsilon positive there exists a positive integer capital N such that modulus Zn minus Z0 is less than epsilon by 2 whenever n greater equal to capital N. Therefore, for all n greater equal to capital N and p equal to 1, 2, etc., we obtain modulus Zn plus p minus Zn is less or equal to modulus Zn plus p minus Z0 plus modulus Zn minus Z0, that is less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2 equal to epsilon. This proves the only if part of the theorem. So, now we assume that the sequence Zn satisfy the Cauchy condition, that is for given epsilon we take epsilon equal to 1, there exists a positive integer n such that modulus Zn plus p minus Zn is less than 1 whenever n greater equal to capital N and p equal to 1, 2, etc. Now, fixing n as n0, we have modulus Zn0 plus p minus Zn0 is less than 1 whenever p equal to 1, 2, etc. Therefore, all the points Zn0 plus 1, Zn0 plus 2 and like that lie in the interior of a circle having center at Zn0 and radius 1. We denote this neighborhood by n1 Zn0. Also, there is a neighborhood of the point z equal to 0 with a radius large enough containing both n1 Zn0 and the finite number of points z1, z2 up to Zn0. Thus, the sequence Zn is bounded and hence by Bolzano-Weierstrass theorem this sequence has a limit point. Next, we show that the sequence Zn cannot have two distinct limit points. If possible, we may assume zeta and zeta dashed be two distinct limit points of the sequence Zn. Now, choosing epsilon equal to zeta minus zeta dashed by 3, we see that the inequality modulus Zn plus p minus Zn is less than 1 by 3 modulus zeta minus zeta dashed holds true for all sufficiently large n, say n greater than capital N. Again, each of the neighborhoods n zeta epsilon and n zeta dash epsilon must contain infinitely many terms of the sequence Zn. Let Zn1 be the term with index larger than capital N belonging to n zeta epsilon, and let Zn1 plus P1 be the term with index larger than capital N belonging to n zeta dash epsilon. Then from next figure we see that modulus Zn1 plus P1 minus Zn1 is greater than 1 by 3 modulus zeta minus zeta dash, which contradicts equation number 1. Therefore, the sequence Zn has only one limit point and hence it converges. This proves our theorem. So, this is our figure. Here this is a neighborhood, this is n zeta epsilon and this is our n zeta dash epsilon. The point Zn1 belongs to n zeta epsilon and point Zn1 plus P1 belongs to n zeta dash epsilon, and this distance is 1/3 zeta minus zeta dash. Till now we have discussed about the convergence of a sequence of complex numbers. We also discuss about Cauchy condition for sequence. We prove that a sequence is convergent if and only if it satisfies Cauchy condition. Now we define infinite series of complex numbers. We also discuss about its nature. We discuss about absolute convergence and conditionally convergence of an infinite series. We also discuss about Cauchy condition for infinite series. We give some method like comparison test, ratio test, Cauchy root test, Dirichlet test, Abel test, by which we can verify whether an infinite series either converges or diverges. Now we go to our presentation. Now we define infinite series. An infinite series summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn converges to the sum S if the sequence Sn equal to summation k equal to 1 to n zk, n equal to 1 to etc. of partial sums converges to S, and we write Sn tending to S as n tending to infinity, or summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn is equal to S. Now we note the following. Number 1, the necessary condition for a series to be convergent is that its nth term should approach to 0. Since Zn equal to Sn minus Sn minus 1, which tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. Number 2, we can always add or subtract a finite number of terms to a series or from a series without altering its character. However, in case of convergent series, its sum will change. Number 3, since the limit of the sequence Sn is unique, the sum of a convergent series is also unique. Now we prove a result. Suppose that Zn equal to xn plus I yn and S equal to x plus Iy. Then summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn equal to S if and only if summation n equal to 1 to infinity xn equal to x and summation n equal to 1 to infinity yn equal to y. So we give proof. Let Sn equal to summation k equal to 1 to n zk, Sn equal to Pn plus Iqn, where Pn equal to summation k equal to 1 to n xk and Qn equal to summation k equal to 1 to n yk. Then by theorem 1 we obtain summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn equal to S if and only if Sn tending to S as n tending to infinity. If and only if Pn tending to x and Qn tending to y as n tending to infinity. If and only if summation n equal to 1 to infinity xn equal to x and summation n equal to 1 to infinity yn equal to y. This proves the result. Now we state Cauchy condition for series. In case when the limit function of the series is unknown or difficult to compute, it is convenient to use the Cauchy condition for finding the nature of that series. So the result is the series summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn converges if and only if for every epsilon positive there exists a positive integer n such that for all n greater equal to capital N we have modulus Zn plus 1 plus Zn plus 2 plus up to Zn plus p is less than epsilon for p equal to 1, 2, etc. Now prove, let Sn equal to summation k equal to 1 to n zk. Noting that Sn plus p minus Sn is equal to Zn plus 1 plus Zn plus 2 up to Zn plus p, the result at once follows from the Cauchy condition for sequences. Now we give another definition. An infinite series summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn is said to be absolutely convergent if the series n equal to 1 to infinity mod Zn is convergent. Moreover, if the series summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn converges, but the series summation n equal to 1 to infinity mod Zn diverges, then the series is said to be conditionally convergent. We note the following: every absolutely convergent series is convergent. This follows from the fact that modulus Zn plus 1 plus Zn plus 2 plus up to Zn plus p is less or equal to modulus Zn plus 1 plus modulus Zn plus 2 plus up to modulus Zn plus p. The significance of absolutely convergent series lies in the fact that this series can be rearranged in any order. Even then all the series converges to the same sum. Also, the sum and difference of two absolutely convergent series are absolutely convergent. Now we discuss comparison test. If modulus Zn less or equal to modulus Wn except for finitely many n and summation n equal to 1 to infinity Wn converges absolutely, then summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn converges absolutely. Number 2, if modulus Wn is less or equal to modulus Zn and summation n equal to 1 to infinity Wn diverges, then summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn also diverges. Now we state ratio test. For a series summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn of non-zero complex numbers, let L equal to limit infimum n tending to infinity modulus Zn plus 1 by Zn and capital L equal to limit superior n tending to infinity modulus Zn plus 1 by Zn. Then the series summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn converges absolutely if capital L less than 1. The series diverges if small l greater than 1. The test fails if small l less or equal to 1 less or equal to capital L. Now we state Cauchy root test. For a series n equal to 1 to infinity Zn of non-zero complex numbers, let rho equal to limit superior n tending to infinity mod Zn to the power 1 by n. Then the series converges absolutely if rho less than 1. The series diverges if rho greater than 1. The test fails if rho equal to 1. Now Dirichlet test. Suppose that the partial sums of summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn are bounded and the sequence Wn is monotonic decreasing and Wn tends to 0 as n tending to infinity. Then the series Zn Wn converges. Now Abel test. Suppose that the series Zn converges and the sequence Wn is monotonic convergent sequence. Then the series Zn Wn also converges. Now we consider an example. Discuss the convergence of the series Zn where Z2n minus 1 is equal to 4 plus 3i by 15 to the power 2n minus 1 and Z2n is equal to 4 minus 3i by 10 to the power 2n. So by the definition of Zn, we have modulus Zn to the power 1 by n is 1/3 if n equal to 1, 3 etc. and equal to 1 by 2 if n equal to 2, 4 etc. Therefore, we obtain rho equal to limit superior n tending to infinity mod Zn to the power 1 by n, that is equal to half less than 1, hence the given series converges. Another example, determine the limit of the sequence Zn where Zn is given by Zn equal to n by n plus 1 plus I n square by n square plus 2n plus 1. So we assume that xn equal to n by n plus 1 and yn equal to n square by n square plus 2n plus 1. We see that limit n tending to infinity xn equal to 1 and limit n tending to infinity yn equal to 1. Therefore, limit n tending to infinity Zn is equal to 1 plus I. Another example, prove that if series Zn converges, then series Zn by n also converges. Solution, here the sequence n equal to 1 to infinity Zn converges and the sequence Wn where Wn equal to 1 by n is monotonic convergent sequence which converges to 0. Therefore, applying Abel's test, we can say that the sequence Zn Wn, that is summation n equal to 1 to infinity Zn by n converges. At the end of this module, we came to know about sequence and series of complex numbers, about its convergence. We also came to know about Cauchy condition for convergence of sequence and infinite series. We also discussed some methods by which we can verify whether an infinite series either converges or diverges. We also provide some examples in this module. For more problems, you can see the self-assessment part. You can also consider any reference book for more details. This ends module 1 of chapter 6.